Hi, I'm Nigel, developer of AudioSwift, and in this video I show you how to configure the mixer mode inside Digital Performer. Digital Performer is supported in AudioSwift from version 2.3.7 beta and up, and with Digital Performer 11 and up. Launch AudioSwift before launching Digital Performer. Go to Preferences, and then click the Mixer tab. AudioSwift creates 3 virtual MIDI ports. In mixer mode, AudioSwift 1 is used for your primary DAW, AudioSwift 2 is for your secondary DAW in case you work with another one. AudioSwift 3 is only used with the rest of the controller modes. In this case, we are only working with Digital Performer, so we're going to select it as our primary DAW on port 1. Close the window. We need to tell Digital Performer that we want to use AudioSwift as a control surface. AudioSwift uses the MACI Control Protocol or MCU to communicate with the DAW. In Digital Performer, go to Setup, Control Surface Setup. For the driver, select MCU Single Fader. For track filtering, choose Pin to Mixer. For unit, choose MCU Main. For the input port, select AudioSwift 1-1 if Digital Performer is going to be your primary DAW, or otherwise select AudioSwift 2-1. For the output port, select the same MIDI port as the input, in this case, AudioSwift 1. Everything is set up. In Digital Performer, I have chosen the sequence view and the mixing board to show you how the AudioSwift controller works. Now go to AudioSwift and let's open the console and the trackpad windows. I'm going to click the stars so the console and trackpad windows will always be on top. Make sure you are on mixer mode. At the bottom bar, there is a menu where you select the current DAW you want to control. They are the same 2 DAWs that you set before at the preferences window, and you can switch between them. The middle area shows the current view you are working on. With the group of parameters, you can control with the trackpad. In this case, I am in the first view, and I can control one fader, plus the solo, mute, and arm record button. Select the first track in your project. Turn on AudioSwift with a 5-finger tap. Select View 1 by tapping the number 1. To move the fader of the selected track, use the tip of one finger and slide it up or down inside the fader area. The corresponding fader will move on screen. The name of the track and the fader's level will be displayed in real time in both the console and trackpad windows. The movements are relative, meaning that it doesn't matter if you begin at the bottom of the trackpad or at the top level, the fader will start moving from its last position following your finger direction. Also notice that once you start moving inside the fader zone, you won't need to worry if you accidentally get out of the zone. The selected fader will still move. When you finish, press the escape key or double tap the bottom right corner of your trackpad. It's good practice to turn off the console right away when you finish using the controller, to avoid moving a fader when you really want to move the cursor instead. Let's turn on AudioSwift again. If you press the Option key in your keyboard when moving the fader, it will reset to its default value of 0 dB. If you keep pressed the Command key, the fader will move more slowly for fine-tuning. You can also change the sensitivity of the fader by going to Preferences, Mixer tab, and move this slider horizontally. To solo the track, tap with one finger over the letter S. To mute the track, tap over the M. To arm for record the track, tap over the R. To control the next track, tap over the left and right triangles. In the sequence and mixing board, you'll see the track highlighted. If you need to do a big jump to another track, you have 2 options. By tapping over the triangles while pressing the Control key, it will move to the first track of the next 8 channels back. The second option is by turning off AudioSwift. Go into the sequence view, scroll with your trackpad to the desired track, and select it. Turn on AudioSwift again and start moving the fader. This last option doesn't work in the mixing board because at the time of this video, Digital Performer doesn't allow to choose a track in the mixer board and focus the controller to that track, only in the sequence and tracks views. Let's see the other views. Turn on AudioSwift. Tap over view number 2. You now have access to the fader plus the panning. Move up your finger inside the panning zone and the knob will turn to the right. Move down and it will turn to the left. Keep pressing the Option key and move the panning. It will go to the center. In the console and trackpad windows, the panning position graphic is not supported in Digital Performer. Now tap over the number 3. View 3 lets you move 2 tracks at the same time. I tend to use my index and ring fingers for this. Tap over the left and right triangles and it will jump to the next 2 tracks. Press the Option key while moving your fingers and the faders will be set at 0 dB. Press the Command key for fine-tuning. I have shown you the first 3 basic views in mixer mode. There are 2 more. View 5 is for the master fader and View 6 for the jog wheel. View 4 for the sense is not supported in Digital Performer. They are all accessible by using a one-finger tap over the bottom right area of the trackpad. But before we need to enable them at the Preferences window, Mixer tab. Here you enable only the views you want to use. I'm going to check the master fader and the jog wheel. Close the window. Tap the bottom right sun to switch to the master fader view. This controls directly the master fader. Press the Option key and it will move to 0 dB. Tap one more time the bottom right and you'll change to the jog wheel. With only one finger start moving in circles around the center of the trackpad, the playhead will move through the timeline. It's time to talk about the transport controls. In AudioSwift, there are several keyboard shortcuts that are used for transport control when the console is on or when the console is the key window on screen. You can either use them, or if you prefer, you can use the regular transport shortcuts in your DAW and then turn on the console for controlling the faders, panning, and so on. Like in your DAW, to play the music, use the spacebar. Press it again and the playhead will pause. Make sure spacebar works as play pause button is enabled in Preferences Mixer tab. The letters from Q to Y in your keyboard are for the rest of transport controls. Q is for rewind, W is the stop button, E is another play button, the R is the record button, T is for enable the cycle mode, and Y is fast forward. Letters from U to P are for the automation modes. U enables and disables the play automation mode. I enables and disables the touch record mode. O is for override. And P is for latch. If you have a MacBook with touch bar, you will also see the transport controls displayed on it. It's good to mention that once you have configured the mixer mode in your DAW, both touch bar and keyboard shortcuts are also accessible when you're working on the trigger, scale, X, Y, and slider modes. Z and X or comma and period are used to switch between the views. C and V or N and M are for changing between tracks. Press Ctrl to jump to the next A-channel bank. Pressing B will change AudioSwift to control the secondary DAW if there's another one assigned. That's all for this tutorial. Please watch the rest of videos on how to use AudioSwift in other controller modes. Thanks for watching.